Oh man, so if you're holding Algorand, yes, Algorand, you are down over 80 to 85% over the last 5 to 6 months. And that's not just been Algorand, that's been the wider market. But now with Algorand still at 44 cents, is this a good entry point? What am I doing in the market? Am I adding to my Algorand position? What are my technical price levels? We're going to look at that. We're going to look at a whole bunch of fundamental announcements and updates to the ecosystem. So make sure you hit up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. This video is brought to you by PRIMEXBT, one of the world's leading exchanges. You can trade cryptos, you can stake and earn. There are contests, there's copy trading. Check the link in the description, deposit, and you can win up to $7,000. They've been kind enough to offer that bonus to this community. So you just need to use the coupon code Ijaz1 when you're depositing, and you can get up to $7,000. PRIMEXBT, links in the description. Now, Algorand, let's take a look at this chart. And as you can see, you know, Algorand ran all the way up to highs, ignoring that crazy wick, of about 250 before now sitting at 44 cents here. And we know this is, you know, symptomatic of the wider market. We've had a global slowdown. We know there's the Fed issues and a fight between inflation and interest rates going on. We've had the Russia-Ukraine tensions. But sitting here now, how good of a project is Algorand? And you guys know we've covered this extensively on this channel. We've been monitoring Algorand. I can speak for days about Silva Mikali and the team and how good their transactions per second is and their block finality and how it's how decentralized it is and so many other things in terms of the technicalities of the project. But let's cover off some updates on the ecosystem, because I'm aware it's been quite a while since I've posted an update on Algorand. And there's been a few things that happened. Now, we did cover this. We covered the fact that Staci Warden joined as a new CEO. Remember, she is ex-JP Morgan. She's ex-NASDAQ. She worked at the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. She also worked for the US Treasury Department. So this was a really good introduction here to add Staci Warden to the team. And what I liked most about this was she was very aware what the shortcomings were with Algorand. And you could tell that she was focused on the marketing and corporate element of Algorand, right? There's nothing she can add in terms of the technology, right? Silva Mikali and the team have a great, robust technology. They know what they're doing in terms of the academic side, but they've not figured out the marketing side. I think that's why they brought Staci Warden across. Her experience at JP Morgan, at NASDAQ, to bring across the marketing elements can really pull through. Now, she joined in February this year, so she would have had a couple of months now to get her knees under the table, and hopefully she can start to make the changes that she wants to make in terms of the marketing aspect. So it's really good that she identified that herself, and we want to see that play out now over the rest of this year and next year. Unfortunately for her, she's come at a time where it's a bear market, so it doesn't matter what right she does, but she has to plant the seeds for the future bull runs, and that's what we're going to come on to now, because she definitely has been doing so. Now, the other thing which is interesting was her past at the US Treasury Department. Do not underlook this bit, okay? This could be huge. We know about the regulation. We know about what happened with Terra Luna. And we know that the SEC are more focused than ever on regulating crypto right now. So this element here, her ability to navigate the various bureaucracy and regulation challenges that can come for Algorand, will be huge for having her at the helm of Algorand. So that's a really bullish thing here about the project. Now, the other thing I noticed, which was hugely bullish, which I think was overlooked, was towards the end of last year, the accelerated vesting completed. So a lot of people were saying, oh, Algorand was rubbish because when everything else was running, Algorand didn't run as much. Now, part of that was because of this, right? A lot of Algorand was vested. You can see here, approx 3.1 billion Algorand linked to this program has been vested. As a result of this year's multiple accelerated vesting, circulating supply of Algorand is now approximately 6.15 billion, with a liquid supply of 6.7 billion. So in other words, what does this mean for you and I? When you have people who were accelerating their vesting, what that means was, as soon as the price goes beyond their ICO price, they have an incentive to sell. Okay, and that constant selling pressure, I always mention this in my tokenomics videos, that constant selling pressure and release schedule puts pressure on the price of Algorand and stops it from getting any bullish momentum. So the tokenomics need to be on side. So this is a huge announcement, and that you know is going to carry Algorand from strength to strength. And the other thing here is, which I'm just noticing, is out of the 10 billion Algorand minted at mainnet Genesis, there remains 3.2 billion Algorand that is yet to enter circulation. Okay, and we're going to cover that off shortly in terms of the tokenomics. So this is a good thing, and it just happens that we're in a bear market right now, so we're not seeing the benefits of that. But when Bitcoin's moving and you start to see some pumps on Algorand, these pumps will be different to the pumps from before, because the tokenomics have changed. We've no longer got this constant selling pressure with people with an incentive to sell every time it pumps a little bit. Okay, Keeping things moving, we've also then had the launch of Algomint, now huge, and it's really important that you start to see these kinds of projects because it means people are using the ecosystem, and that's going to be important. So creating things like this, Algomint is a bridge that allows you to bridge from Bitcoin and Ethereum onto the Algorand blockchain, and again, these are the kind of things you need in the early years of a blockchain to get people to use your platform. We've then had this. Another really big announcement here. Citi veteran launches 1.5 billion crypto fund and he chooses Algorand as his strategic partner. Okay, so this chap here who used to work for Citibank, Matt Zhang, set up a $1.5 billion venture fund to invest in just blockchain and digital assets, and he's backed Algorand to be his strategic partner in that. Again, that's going to bring a lot of funds into the Algorand ecosystem, and this is what we need to see. We need to see money flowing into apps, into great projects like Algomint and many other apps onto Algorand. When Algorand can get going doing that, then you're going to see huge adoption, huge use cases, huge increases in the number of wallets and daily transactions, and then you'll see things start to really progress because the technology is right. It's been right for a while. Just need to build that layer on top, which other blockchains have done a pretty good job of, right? When you look at Solana, when you look at Phantom, when you look at Avalanche, they've done a better job at some of these pieces. We've also then having another fund, right? Borderless Capital launched $500 million, that's $500 million fund for Algorand projects. Again, more funds looking to power the next generation of decentralized projects on Algorand blockchain. These are huge deals, huge amounts of capital, which if they flow into the right prices, it just takes a couple of these projects to take this funding and really launch a really good use case before you can see things really start to climb, right? Keeping things moving, we then had, which a lot of you guys know, we covered on this channel, the FIFA announcement, right? FIFA announces partnership with blockchain innovator Algorand. Huge. The fact that FIFA decided to partner, you've got the World Cup coming up this winter, which will be very interesting around Christmas time. And this is, again, another good marketing deal. And I'm pretty sure Staci Warden would have figured this piece out, right? Sylvia probably didn't figure this piece out on his own. Again, Staci coming on with an ex-corporate mindset to say, okay, how can we do these deals? Everybody else in the blockchain space is doing these deals. Can we do this? Or just get our name out there and make sure that we're on the map. Now, this in and of itself is not going to do anything. I always say, if you go name a stadium or you sponsor a football team or you sponsor with FIFA, it doesn't do anything on its own. But doing these partnerships does put you on the map, and then you have to execute on actually getting dApp developers. So the funds are really important to get dApp developers across. We then had Grayscale considering Phantom at the time and also Algorand for its investment projects, which is really good. And they added Algorand to its smart contract platform fund, which was really good and a good step in the right direction for Algorand. Again, being added by Grayscale is no mean feat, and it's a real feather in Algorand's cap. Keeping things moving, so I did tell you there's a lot of updates here. You then had the Algorand name service launch. Again, another good bit of progress. You need all these things. So now you can register your .algo names and you can get moving. These are things that were possible in ETH, but were not possible here on Algorand, but it is now, and you're seeing progress start to be made, okay? And you can see here, since Algorand's name service mainnet launch on the 25th of Feb, we have observed over 13,000 registrations, 100 name transfers, 150 name renewals. Good. They're making progress, right? And it's usable. And then obviously the news which we know for a while now is in summer of last year, El Salvador, who's one of the first countries to, I think it was the first country to make Bitcoin legal tender, right, partnered with Koibanx, right? So Koibanx is built on the Algorand infrastructure, okay? So really important that they're using the Algorand infrastructure in their country. So all huge fundamental advancements and really good progress here on the Algorand price. But again, the price isn't going to move, right? The ecosystem's making really good progress, but right now we're in a bear market. It doesn't matter what you do, what you announce, it's not going to make a difference. But all of these things are going to add up because it means you've got a more and more mature layer one blockchain, and that should carry Algorand through in the next bull run. One thing for sure, they're not the same project now as they were this time last year. Right? And that's what you got to look at. You got to look at the project and say, how much have they progressed? Now, looking at TVL, this is one of the slight concerns I have, is they're not making massive progress in the TVL, right? You can see here they've got 133 million in total value locked. Yes, the market is down in every platform, every layer one blockchain is down at the moment in terms of their TVL, but they are starting to get a few projects, which is good, okay? So they've got AlgoFi, which is starting to create a name for itself. They account for 90 million of the 133, and then Tiny Man is the second one. So those two combined pretty much account for all of the total value locked on Algorand. You want to see more projects, you want to see more use cases, you want to see more DeFi projects, GameFi projects, Metaverse. Algorand's got to piece all of that together. And if they can, what can it head to, right? Let's take a look at the price and let's take our Fibonacci retracement. And what you want to do is go from swing low to, let's use this swing high here. And what you can comfortably see is the golden ratio, 0.618 to 0.65 level, sits between 1.7 and 1.8. So getting back to a $1.80, $1.72 area on Algorand within this range here is very, very doable. That's a nice retracement. In a normal bull market with Bitcoin going, it wouldn't be too bad a bet to have some Algorand in your portfolio. Again, a small part of the layer one segment of your portfolio where you may have some ADA, you may have some Solana, you may have some Phantom, you may have some Avalanche. Sure, for me, it makes sense for me to have a little bit of Algorand in that portfolio as well. And sitting here at 44 cents, even if you just bounce back here and don't even create any all-time highs, you can see a lot of trading was happening here. If you could get back to this range here, you've comfortably got a 3 to 4x on your money there, right? So it's a comfortable risk reward here at this point on Algorand. You can see the levels it's at now. You're coming back down to the real dead levels you were getting in 2020 here on Algorand before the run-up, the initial run-up it had to 190. Okay, so that's what we're looking out for here on Algorand. And finally, just to look at the market cap, you can see the market cap sitting at 3 billion, which is still pretty large, right? Because you've got Phantom sitting at 1 billion. So this is 3 times the market cap of Phantom, diluted its 4.4. The circulating supply has now picked up, which is good. So you're having less of that selling pressure. You've got 68% in circulating supply. We still need to be aware that 32 of that still remains to be leaked onto the market. But that's not a crazy percentage now. It's pretty I'm comfortable with that percentage sitting there at 68%. With the ceasing of the accelerated vesting. So there you have it, guys. There is an update on Algorand, another coin which has taken a beating, hugely suppressed prices. And when I look at the market right now, there are so many great projects from a technological standpoint, from a growth point of view, in terms of risk reward, which are sitting there at crazy prices right now, which we couldn't have dreamt of earlier last year, right, when Bitcoin was running towards 69,000. So we need to sit down, look at them, analyze them, and decide which ones deserve a portion of our portfolio. And for me, Algorand needs to get this done. Now, the only issue which I summarize in my video, selling my Algorand ? Which I'm going to link up at the end of this video, is they need to figure out their marketing piece. If they don't figure this piece out, then it's going to be an issue. Then we need to decide what we're going to do with Algorand in our portfolio. So I said, I'm going to give them a chance to play this marketing piece out. Since then, they've done the FIFA partnership. I want to see a few other things going on as well in terms of building good dApps as well. But for now, the technology is so strong that I've got to have a little bit of Algorand in my portfolio because the risk to reward ratio is just too sweet right now. Thanks for watching this video, guys. As always, smash up the like button and subscribe. If you appreciate this update, then let me know about it and let me know that you want more Algorand videos in the comments below. This video was brought to you by PRIMEXBT. Don't forget to check those guys out. They've been kind enough to offer you up to a $7,000 bonus. Just click the link in description. Use my coupon code Ijaz when you're depositing, and you're going to get up to $7,000 bonus, which you can trade with straight away. You don't even need to touch your bonus. Just click the link below, get yourself set up, and take advantage of that bonus. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.